Good morning, YouTube. I want to talk to you about something that I've figured out, or I think I've figured out. I'm starting to believe the conspiracy theorists who say that store-bought foods and foods made available in the civilian marketplace are slowly being weaned down on their nutrient levels. Now, here's why I believe this. I've had this injury. Back when we packed to move the house, to move up here to where we are now, I was on my feet for 3 or 4 days getting things together for this trip. And, I walked so much and I did so much on my feet that I literally injured my feet to the point that when the move was over, I could not get up on my feet easily. I mean, it felt like somebody had beat them with 2x2s on the sole side of them, Well, my left foot healed up and got back to normal, but my right foot never healed quite properly. I always had to keep the weight off the heel of my foot for any period of time. If I climbed out of bed, or if I sit in a chair too long, it would get stove up and it would hurt like the devil to start walking on it again. And just general pain. I also had some tendons. Felt like the tendons around the heel of my foot were sprained real bad. And you could feel the pain in the tendons. Well, I thought maybe it was a bone spur or some other thing. And I walked like that up until about a week ago. It's been almost a year that thing's been hurting me on and off and would never let up. It was always a low level of pain. It never completely went away. But then about a week ago, I have these MREs in here that are reaching the end of their lifespan. So I started using them about one every couple of days, supplementing the other food we have. And I think it's no coincidence that since I have been eating those, and this is what happened, and it was noticeably observable from the first meal. And at first I thought it was just a coincidence. The pain in my foot started ceasing and the thing started healing. So I continued eating the MREs. And I think this is like the fourth one I've eaten. My right foot, in the span of time that I started eating those MREs, has almost completely healed. I can stand, and this I haven't been able to do for almost a year. I can stand on the heel of my foot again. And I'm starting to be able to walk around and do things like I could normally back then. And I think what it is, I think the elevated nutrients and the fortifying that they do on MREs that boosts their nutrient content, I think it gave my body the building blocks it required to be able to repair that damage. And it leads me to believe, I never had this problem with civilian food before. I've always eaten a reasonable diet with plenty of nutrients, at least I thought it was. But I'm starting to wonder if the American people are unwittingly being rationed now. It's just weird that over that entire year it would not heal. And then the minute I started eating those MREs, my foot began to heal itself. Now, I went out and I cut the grass, and it didn't even hurt when I came in. And usually a day on that foot would kill me. I wouldn't be able to walk for God knows how long. But didn't even hurt. I mean, it hurt a little bit, but just a tiny bit. I was able to walk on it. Still am. And it really starts to make me wonder. It really does. I mean, it's not good for the rest. Now, here's the other thing. You see how kind of overweight I am. I'm getting round in the stomach, and I'm getting a hang down here. That was on civilian food. That was not on MREs. I'm kind of worried that the MREs are going to exacerbate it, but I believe it is possible to eat and eat and eat until you're as fat as a pig. and still not get the nutrients that your body needs to fix itself. To at least allow for general repair. I'm really starting to wonder, because over a year of eating normal food, that foot would not heal. And it's like I said, about a week eating MREs, nutritionally boosted food. And I know it's fattening, but you know what? My foot is not killing me anymore. And the other thing that's happened is I used to have a throbbing in this ear all the time. And it seemed to be blood pressure related or something, I don't know what. But since I started eating nutritionally boosted food, this has finally stopped. It's gone away. I haven't been able to go without hearing that in my ear for God knows how long. That's been several years, and it's gone. I don't hear it anymore. I think that was another thing that couldn't repair itself, and the elevated levels of nutrition are allowing it. So I've been watching this over this time, and I'm going to continue to watch this. I've got these MREs that are very close to being inedible anymore, so at least if you go by the guidelines, the safety guidelines. So I'm starting to use these. I want to have these all done by January of next year, And I'm going to watch what happens as I eat these. Because, the other thing, these bites and this other crap all over my arm from where bugs bit me, and I also, I have a skin condition up here that's been giving me trouble on my scalp. It's not dandruff, it's like an eczema type thing. That's gone away. It's not bothering me anymore. This not so much, but all these little bites and pock marks on my arms where bugs have bitten me and things have bitten me, and they're healing up. They would not heal up until about a week ago. All of this was a wasp bite, this big red one here. That's where a wasp stung me. That's been on my arm over a month, and it's healing. It's healing. And all this just in the last week. I think I've been severely deprived of nutrition. Even though I've been buying all of this food at the store, all these different foods and proper foods that you should have, if you pay attention in health class, the things that are supposed to supply you with protein and vitamins and iron and all the other things you need, you would think that wouldn't be a problem. But apparently it is. I'm wondering, there's been people talking about Walmart has been cutting the quality of their foods. They've been cutting it with additives. Even their canned foods, the nutritional value is not what's stated on the can. I've heard this. I'm not sure about this. But after just a week with MREs, I'm starting to wonder. I'm really starting to wonder. For instance, there was an old trick they used to do back in the old days when they wanted to unwittingly ration people, and they talk about it in the book 1 Second After, where they would mix sawdust into the flour of the bread before making it. They would cut it with a filler, and the people would eat, and they'd get full, but they weren't absorbing any nutrients, And this does make me wonder about that now. But anyway, I'm getting on my time limit, and I don't want to do that, so I'm going to let y'all go, but it's food for thought. And if you think I'm crazy, go and get you an MRE from an Army-Navy surplus. Get you about a week's supply. For about, you can get, I think it's 12 meals you can get for about $60. And they're full meals. They have everything you need in them. You don't have to have any outside anything for these. It's complete meals. So for the price per unit is actually still pretty reasonable when you consider the cost of food these days. And just try it for a week and see what happens. I think if it's like what has happened to me, you're going to be very surprised at the things in your body that start fixing themselves. And then ask yourself the question if we are being unwittingly starved by limitation of nutrients. Just something I've noticed. I don't say there's a conspiracy, but I wonder now. Anyway, that's it. Take care, people. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to mention, and I almost forgot. One of the things that's been happening over the last year or so is I have felt really feeble and old for my age. At 42, I shouldn't be feeling like an 80-something-year-old man. Things were hurting me, and just, generally weak. But since I've started supplementing with these MREs, I feel stronger, and I've been able to do more work in the last week than I have been able to do in a long time. There again, nutrients, limitation of nutrients, or just over fortification of meal, I don't know. But considering I've been eating well all this time, it does make me wonder now that I have been eating MREs beyond this time to this last week, and things change night and day. But just thought I would bring that up too. Anyway, I'll shut up now. I'll let y'all go. But do think about it and maybe try that. Get you some MREs and give it a shot and see what happens.